In today's business world, one of the most critical secret weapons isn't a product. It's not a patent, it's a person. We're going to dive into the evolution of tech leadership and the rise of a role that is quite literally shaping the future of companies everywhere. So, when you hear the phrase IT leader, what's the first image that pops into your head? For a long, long time, it was probably someone tucked away in a server room, making sure emails were flowing and the network was up. The hero of the help desk, right? But is that really the job today? I mean, is it about fixing printers, or is it about shaping the entire strategy of the company? And that right there is the core question, because the role has fundamentally, completely changed.
And this change, it represents a massive journey. We're talking about a journey for the entire IT function, taking it from the proverbial basement all the way up into the boardroom.
Yeah, historically, IT was kind of seen as a necessary evil. It was a cost center, a support function that, sure, you had to fund to keep the lights on, but it was never really seen as part of the core business.
Well, that old model is just completely obsolete now. Today, technology isn't just supporting the business. In a lot of cases, technology is the business. And this shift from simple operational support to a key business driver, well, it changed everything. So that old focus was purely operational. Think about it. Infrastructure, uptime, technical support. It was a totally reactive role, all about just keeping the existing systems running smoothly. Now, compare that to the new strategic mandate. Businesses today rely on tech for innovating their business models, for creating new digital products, for making smarter decisions with data, and for creating a real competitive edge. These aren't just technical tasks anymore. These are core business functions. So here's the crucial point. If technology is this central to success, you can't have a purely operational person leading the charge. You absolutely need a strategist. So who is that person? And this is where our main character enters the scene, the CIO, or Chief Information Officer. This role was created specifically to answer that strategic need. Now, what's so interesting about this definition is the language they use. Notice these words: C-level executive, governance, strategic use, and align with business goals. This isn't a technical job description, right? This is a business leadership role through and through. And their responsibilities totally reflect this. They're not just managing servers anymore. They're managing the company's entire digital transformation, its cybersecurity risk, and making sure that every single dollar spent on IT is actually aligned with the business's most important goals. Take a concept like IT governance. It sounds a little abstract, maybe even a bit dry, right? But the CIO's job is to make it super concrete. They make sure the whole organization can clearly answer these three simple but incredibly powerful questions. Who gets to make the key tech decisions? What's the process for making them? And how do we know if any of it's working? Okay, so this brings us to the most important distinction of all. It's the difference between a traditional IT manager and a true CIO. Really, it's the difference between a manager and a strategist. So let's really break it down. What actually separates these two roles? How can you tell if your organization has one or the other? Man, this chart just lays it all out so clearly. Look at the primary focus. A CIO is obsessed with strategic value, while a manager is focused on day-to-day operations. Or look at scope. A CIO thinks organization-wide, across every department, while a manager's view is pretty much limited to their own IT department. And maybe the biggest one of all is the time horizon. A manager is solving today's problems. A CIO is building the company's future, looking 3 to 5 years down the road. Okay, so why does any of this matter so much? Because having the right kind of technology leader has direct and, frankly, a massive impact on a company's ability to compete and grow. Let's just land on this quote for a second, because it sums everything up perfectly. An IT manager makes sure the systems are working. A CIO makes sure the business is working and growing because of those systems. It's a huge difference. And that, right there, is the ultimate value proposition. A great CIO is the executive who takes technology, something that was once seen as just an expense, and transforms it into a powerful engine for innovation, for growth, and for a lasting competitive advantage. So, I'll leave you with this one final thought to take with you. Look at your own organization and ask this question: who is leading your technology? Is it a manager, focused on keeping the lights on? Or is it a strategist, focused on lighting the way forward? The answer to that question could very well define your future.